still ahead this morning. Guideline backlash. A California school district is sending students home with more than just homework. A look at the LGBTQ plus guideline book causing controversy. Well, winter break is here, and the San Francisco United School District is sending home with students more than just holiday cheer. The school district is offering guides to families about LGBTQ plus matters. We're also going to discuss the Parents' Bill of Rights that's on its way to the desk of the Ohio governor. It would notify parents if their child desires to maybe identify as another gender at school. Joining us now to discuss this and so much more is the president of Parents Defending Education, Nicole Neily. Welcome once again to the national desk.
Thank you for having me.
And let's talk about what's happening with San Francisco Unified School District. It put out a resource guide to students and parents on how to support LGBTQ plus youth during these type of breaks. Now, the district also provides two resources titled Self-Care for Kids. I think we have a graphic showing you what it looks like, and what they call Out of School Survival Guide. Now, the school district says they hear, and they put this out because they said they hear from students, LGBTQ plus students who are going home and maybe feeling a little bit stressed because they don't feel as supported. But you have concern about this. What is your concern?
Well, I think first is just the framing that this is kind of assuming that families are going to be hostile to children's gender identity, period, which is not the case in most of the country and certainly not in San Francisco. So to really start to throw up those artificial barriers and imply your parents might not love you if, and that there are conditions on a parent's love, this is something that will last far beyond a child graduating from high school. But also some of the resources that this guide directs students to. One is a clinic in San Francisco that provides hormones to children. And overall, there is a section that encourages children to run away. And you and I know what it is like for children in the foster care system with sexual abuse, with drugs, et cetera. And so the fact that this is encouraging children walk away from your family and go be with a bunch of strangers who will give you life-altering hormones and surgeries is something that's really concerning that a public school district would spend their finite resources on.
Now, we're talking about there's also a Parents' Bill of Rights. It's on its way to the desk of the Ohio governor, Mike DeWine in this case, which would notify parents if their child desires to go by another gender at school and prohibits the instruction of sexual materials for grades K through 12. Do you think this is going to be signed, and what impact do you think this is going to have?
I think it will be signed, although Governor DeWine is always a wild card for people. He has vetoed some bills in the past that has caused some conservative activists some consternation, but I am cautiously optimistic. Even though activists are trying to frame this as a Ron DeSantis "don't say gay" bill, that could not be farther from the truth. Let's remember, in sexual instruction for children K to 3 is that's ages 5 to 8 years old, and children at that age don't really know what sex is, much less do they need to know anything really explicit about that. And again, we as a country spend billions and billions of dollars on children's mental health. And what could be more damaging for a child's mental health than to encourage a child to lead a double life and to tell them that their parents don't love them? And so I think this is a very common sense measure, and I'm cautiously optimistic that Governor DeWine will do the right thing.
And we're covering across the country this morning. Let's take it to Illinois, where the State Board of Education has urged lawmakers there to find other ways to address student disciplinary action instead of maybe ticketing students for truancy or referring students for disciplinary action to local police departments. And I know you hear from so many parents. What do parents think about this? Do they think there are other ways that are more effective, or what are your thoughts here?
I think we have seen over the past several years an explosion in discipline problems at school because we're not disciplining children, and students who are aggressors know that they will not face any consequences for this. We've seen the federal government under President Biden try and encourage students with kind of a wink, wink, nod, nod guidance to say, you know what, do these other things, do restorative justice, go to the principal's office, sing Kumbaya, do these meetings with the victims and the aggressors. And really what we need to do is we need to send a very clear message. If you act out in a classroom, if you disrupt, you are not allowed to be in that classroom, because not only is that child's actions affecting the class, it's preventing a room full of other children from learning. And it is also putting the teachers in many situations in danger. And so these are decisions that are best made at the local level, not at the state level by a bunch of State Board of Education members, and certainly not by the federal government.
Well, Parents Defending Education, Nicole Neily, thank you so much for joining us, and Happy New Year. I probably won't see you again this year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.